Good morning. I'm Adrian Evans, and I am live on location at 910 Dunlap Circle in Prichard, Alabama, where the members of Taylor Chapel Christian Methodist Episcopal Church have gathered together to celebrate their 85th church anniversary. Since 1978, members have gathered in this space for worship, for study of God's Word, for prayer, weddings, baptisms, funerals, and community meetings. It was in 1978 that the congregation marched from its location on Hobbs Avenue to these grounds on Dunlap Circle. Taylor's story, however, begins long before its 1978 trek to this space. Taylor Chapel CME Church was organized in 1939 in Prichard, Alabama, under the leadership of Reverend A. Hawk, who was the pastor of Stewart Memorial CME Church. At that time, Stewart Memorial was the only colored Methodist Episcopal church in Mobile County, and having the vision to expand the presence of the CME Church in the county, Taylor Chapel began as a church plant here in the home of Sister Elizabeth Taylor at 299 Mack Street in Prichard. Elizabeth was mother to now deceased members Nettie, Bertha, Timothy, Roy, and Daniel, who all served faithfully until their deaths. Charter members attending worship and organization meetings in Sister Taylor's home included Octavia Thornton, Aaron Thornton, Elizabeth Taylor, Matthew Tate, Ella Robinson, B.B. Robinson, Ethel Bell Nord, George Robinson, Inez Stinson, Wayman Hell, Leona Bullard, George Cowan, Shelton Ezel, Sister Ezel, and Richard Taylor. These 15 charter members would leave a legacy that is beyond compare, for they each demonstrated to those of us who followed the cost of discipleship, giving unwavering support in the establishment of Taylor Chapel as one who would spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. As the congregation grew, Sister Taylor's home could no longer accommodate members, so the members rented Christian Springs Missionary Baptist Church at 324 Church Street in Prichard, Alabama. Christian Springs would use the building during the morning, and the members of Taylor would use the building at 3 p.m. It was in 1944, when Reverend Lewis Foster was appointed as pastor, that he led the church to its first home on Hobbs Avenue in Prichard. The first cornerstone was laid on May 15, 1945, with the names of Reverend Lewis Foster as pastor and officers Aaron Thornton, B.B. Robinson, and Matthew Tate. The property on Hobbs Avenue was purchased from Mrs. Mandy Jones at a cost of $40. Sister Johnny Von Sill Jones knows exactly who Mandy was. Let's hear from her regarding location.
I remember when I came up next door to Taylor Chapel on Hobbs Avenue, the first Taylor Chapel, and it was next door to Miss Mandy Jones, and Ella Washington, which was my mother. She was the other side. And then I remember when we had to go into the church and clean up the church. Nowadays they have people paying them to clean up the church, and then we had to clean up the church and make sure everything was clean and everything was right. And then even when they had the delegates in the conference, annual conference, my mom would get delegates and they would stay with us. But Reverend Carr, he used to take the kids, he and his wife used to take the kids to Florida every summer, and then they would have great times, and then bring them back as family people. And I just love that, because Taylor Chapel just made me feel right at home.
Sister Angela Blackman also has fond memories of her time on Hobbs Avenue.
My grandparents, Reverend Promise Haywood Love and Mrs. Hetty Smith Love, were the leaders of our family. We all lived together. my mother and my siblings. We moved from Thomasville, Alabama when I was 10 years old to Prichard, Alabama. We were members of Williams Temple CME Church in Thomasville and moved to Taylor's Chapel CME Church on Hobbs Avenue at that time. We all went to church every Sunday from Sunday school at 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock service, 3 o'clock service, and even 6 o'clock service. They believed in children being active in all the church activities. My love and diligence for Taylor's Chapel has always been because of my grandparents and my mom. I have dedicated my last 65 years as a member of Taylor's Chapel, and I am grateful that I had this time to.
Following Reverend Foster's administration would be Reverend W.B. Cooper, W.C. Flanagan, J.A. Jones, and I.W. Hodges. Sister Mary Thornton, who is the member who holds the longest membership at Taylor, shares reflections of her time with Reverend Hodges. Let's check in with her.
Reverend Hodges was the best minister that I can remember at Taylor Chapel. He was the smartest and most intelligent Bible reading minister that I can remember. I also remember him riding a bicycle, and we would have club meetings every Friday night. And he's the one that really started me to read the Bible. And we would go from house to house on Friday night to club meeting, and he had some of us he would ask questions and we would answer. And one question he asked us was, how do you spell Habakkuk? And that what really started me to read the Bible, and until this day I know how to spell Habakkuk, Habakkuk. But the main thing that we went for on Friday night was them tuna fish sandwiches and drank. But he was a very, very, very smart man, intelligent, very religious in everything. Another thing I remember about Reverend Hodges, I had a knot that come on my hand, and he told me I had been to the doctor. He said, whenever I got ready to have that knot removed, said, come and they would remove it. So Reverend Hodges, he saw the knot on my hand, and he told me what to do. He said, if I can do it. He said, the first person that died, and you are able to, you take your hand and do it, rub it against the person's forehead, and that knot will go away. I did not believe him. I didn't have faith or anything. I just did what he told me to do. And eventually, about 6 months later, looked like that knot was getting smaller and smaller. And eventually, it did go away. And the Lord in heaven knows that knot went away to this day. The knot never did that big, over 40 years ago. He was a splendid, he was just so good looking and intelligent, and I haven't ever heard him say a mean word to anybody. Now, as for me, I can go on and on and on about Reverend I.W. Hodges, Isaiah Hodges. So those are some precious memories of Reverend I.W. Hodges.
Several years and pastors later, Reverend B.W. Carr was appointed to serve Taylor. With the membership ever increasing, Reverend Carr shared a vision for a new place of worship, and after much prayer and deliberation, the membership purchased the edifice where we are currently, at a cost of $100,000. Unfortunately, following the march from Hobbs Avenue to Dunlap Circle and the dedication of the building, Reverend Carr passed, only 3 days following the dedication. He has, however, been described by many as a great builder and leader, having served Taylor for 21 years. In December of 1978, Reverend A.D. Wheaton Sr. became pastor and did much to empower youth and young adults through various ministries. In 1983, when Reverend Wheaton was named presiding elder, Reverend I.C. Harvest White was appointed pastor, a role he served exceptionally well until his retirement from itinerant ministry in 2005. Under Reverend White's leadership, Taylor was able to implement new ministries, including the radio ministry, tutoring program, purchase a van, purchase a parsonage at 2323 West Main Street in Prichard, and implement the Angel Tree program for needy children. Sister Marie Johnson offers reflections of Pastor White's ministry.
Reverend I.C. White was a minister above ministers. For if he ever tell you something, then he's going to try his best to complete it. But I'm telling you now, you got to do it like the Lord said. And those were things that he believed in and wanted to share with the members of the church. Especially, he took a lot of time with the young people. And I think even today, a lot of them are carrying out things that I.C.H. White taught them, showed them what to do.
Since Reverend White's retirement in 2005, there have been many pastors who have come and gone, including the Reverends Jeffrey Whitmore, John Cochran, Milton Proctor, Kenneth Thomas, Janice Smith, and currently serving Pastor Eddie Marzette. And likewise, we continue our commitment to lift Jesus. From 1939 until 2024, we have gone through much at Taylor. The beloved hymn, Amazing Grace, rings true on this day of celebration. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I've already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. And equally comforting is this assurance from that same hymn. The Lord has promised good to me. His word my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. Taylor Chapel is a great church with a grand heritage and a bright future. Today, we share only a small snippet of the extremely rich history of this congregation and its life, witness, and ministry to the city of Prichard and Mobile and surrounding counties, the state, nation, and abroad. We look forward to uncovering more of this rich history and sharing more details as they unfold in the days and weeks ahead. Until then, live in Prichard, Alabama, this has been Adrian C. Evans saying, congratulations on your 85th year anniversary. God be with you till we meet again.